2016 Suzuki GSX-S1000 First Ride Review. For me, very few naked bikes pass this test, but plenty of sport bikes do. I like fairings. However, I busted my back twice. I'm 40. I think it's time for a naked bike without losing the fun of a sport bike. Somehow the curves of the GSX-S tank and the radiator shrouds, from a certain front 3/4 angle, remind me of my old GSX-Rs and Hayabusas. I was thinking about the bike after I saw it and then later sat on it, and I could not help but think about it a lot more. I'm almost the perfect target market for Suzuki, according to their press kit. 40 years old, sport bike rider, experienced, don't like gimmicks or too many gizmos to play with, seek quality and style in a motorcycle and appreciate easy to ride, great handling and smooth power delivery these days on the street instead of outright performance. This is a big year for Suzuki, the 30th anniversary of the GSX-R750, the 10th anniversary of the GSX-R1000 K5, that powers the GSX-S, and the 35th anniversary of the GSX range. I had a K5 GSX-R1000, and now 10 years later, I'm able to buy a bike with a chassis that suits my old bones but still has that K5 engine I loved. While the GS750 was Suzuki's first 4-stroke inline 4, it was the GSX range that kicked off Suzuki's 16-valve lineage. The original concept of the GSX series from the 750E to the 1100's Katana was high performance yet with a broad power band, nimble handling and great durability. Suzuki has continued this tradition with the new GSX-S1000. The GSX family starts with the new GSX-R MotoGP bike, prototype, then the GSX-R comes next, racing, followed by the GSX-S, street sport, and GSX-F, sport standard. The GSX-S concept combines the spirit of the GSX-R with street sensibilities, which I recently put to the test. After spending a full day testing the GSX-S in the Spanish sunshine, I'm convinced Suzuki has pretty much nailed that brief. I really did not know what to expect of the GSX-S, but I was hoping it wouldn't be too boring, yet not too crazy. For me, it had to be just a nice, fast, easy ride. As soon as I sat on the bike, I knew I would like it. The riding position made me feel familiar and at home. You sit in the bike, not on the bike, and the Renthal Pro taper bars are at a perfect level in relation to the seat. 040115, 2016, Suzuki, GSX-S1000, your picture, Alicante_141. Firing up the bike requires a single push of the button rather than holding it down, and no clutch in is required as it is with most Suzukis. The GSX-S idles with that lovable GSX-R raspy growl. It sounds smooth but angry. I blip the throttle as I hop on, and a short, sharp note fires out of the stubby exhaust tip. Nice. Exciting. Fun. It takes just a few miles to be completely comfortable on the GSX-S. Initially short shifting through the smooth, positive gearbox as we make our way out of Alicante to the hills, the bike's mid-range power is impressive. It pulls from 2500 RPM like a freight train and accelerates hard through 5000 to 6000 RPM, with a very meaty mid-range area. The intake noise is howling and addictive, and the exhaust is one of the best sounding standard pipes I can remember hearing. I would only change it for style, not for sound. The road opens up briefly and I glance at the dash. We're averaging 100 mph in top gear en route to the photo shoot. So, with some room ahead, I drop down to 4th gear and take it to the rev limiter. The acceleration makes me laugh inside my helmet, along with the fact that I'd be arrested in Australia for this hooning. Its top-end power doesn't match the K5 GSX-R1000, but it seems on par with a GSX-R1000 K1 more than enough for a bike with no fairing. Acceleration is really impressive. This bike is a V8 with handlebars. It just keeps on pulling harder until the limiter cuts the fun. The only issue I am dealing with is an abrupt initial throttle snatch from a closed throttle. It happens at any RPM and can only be dampened using some rear brake preloading prior to opening the throttle. I'm hoping this is a pre-production issue with the ECU/tune of the bike. Once that initial snap is dealt with, the throttle is fantastic, a real one-to-one feeling with the back tire. There are 3 traction control settings to choose from as well as off. It's a very easy system that is operated by a left bar toggle switch, with the level displayed on the dash. The TC system monitors front and rear wheel speeds, throttle position, crank position and gear position 250 times per second and quickly reduces power output when spin at the rear wheel is detected. Mode 1 allowing a certain level of wheel spin, suitable for fast sport riding in dry conditions. Mode 2 activates earlier, it is for normal riding conditions and is the mode I used most during